Welcome back. I gave it away in the last episode. I'm going to Bonneville. To be more specific, I'm going to Speed Week this year at Bonneville. I'll be back with more details later, but as you might imagine, I'm in quite of a hurry here. I'm planning to resurrect the old SPX engine with the Yame I Am Me cylinder, to run that as a backup or a primary, depends, because I'm also hoping I'll be able to get some cases made and try running the new cylinder, and hopefully also casting another one and casting and machining another one to have a few to break during the event. It's going to be the SPX, but with a new frame. I'm going to make kind of a plate modular frame. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use parts of the old frame or if I'm going to make a totally new one. So first up is the engine, the old engine. I know what's wrong. I bent the crank, so I'm ordering a new crank and a new variator and stuff. So it's kind of, I know what I need to do there. It's not much work, it's just getting the new parts and fixing up a few things. The frame. I'm, production value in my videos, my coming videos will be a bit lower than what you're used to. I'm using the action cam for talking because I want to use as little time as possible for editing. I need the time to do things. Okay, so we're gonna start with stripping the frame and seeing what we're going to use and what we're going to get rid of. Stripped down, I added the old seat for looks. So this is pretty much how I rolled it the first iteration of this build, or actually it was the second iteration, the water cooled. I ran it air cooled first. Oh, should I cut the frame about here and use the rear part of the frame with the bearings and bushings and all that stuff, and make a new piece out of aluminium plate from here and up to a new steering tube with a steeper angle? Remember land speed racing, we don't need to be able to turn quickly. No, I don't need the bike to be responsive. I want it to be really stable at high speeds, relatively high speeds. It's 50cc we're talking about here. Here it is, stripped down. The key features or important things on this frame is, of course, the head tube, the swing arm mount, the receiver for the pulley, the jack shaft, and the rear shock absorber mounts. Now I think I'm going to go for a hardtail, because that's probably good enough for riding on flat salt. It's probably a little bit bumpy, but I've been riding hardtail bikes for a long time, and it's really not that bad. That means that this point is no more isn't important anymore, and it's just the swing arm mount in relation with the pulley mount and the head tube. And I want to stretch it and rake it out a bit so that it will be more stable. Now I was first thinking about cutting the frame here and keeping the rear part, but as there really is only two things that needs to be, or three things that needs to be machined, not really anything special here. It's just bushing and it's offset, so the other side here is protruding out. That's to make room for the sprocket and to align the chain. And there's the receiver for the pulley jackshaft bearings. And that's all. I'll buy some plywood, 3mm plywood, and I'll mock up the frame in plywood, and then I'll buy the aluminium and just copy that over. 2 days later, Jørgen and Håvard from Sarpsborg came over yesterday and brought me some Honda MT50 forks and a 333. So I've ordered bearings, sealed tapered roller bearings. No, not sealed. Tapered roller bearings for the headset. These forks are much lighter than what I used. New crank and a variator, Doppler ER2. I chose that one because it's of a really simple and its design, and it seems quite sturdy, good quality. And the crank is actually a stock replacement crank, because I'm hoping it has a more sensible balance factor out of the box than the more performance-oriented cranks. And I think it will hold up. The stock crank held up fine when I used it for a good while. Got some aluminium plate. I've mocked up the frame on a piece of wood here. So this is what I'm imagining it to be. It's very simple, just a rectangular piece of aluminium or two, sandwiched or with spacers and the mounts and stuff sandwiched in between. Probably lighter with just a chromoly frame, everything in thin steel tubing, or even welded aluminium, but that will be harder to get on a plate. This will be very easy, and the plates could easily be cut in the States, and I won't have to carry them either. Just the spacers, all the mounts, and forks and wheels and stuff, and the engine. In my mock-up here, there's about 35-38 degrees of rake. The wheelbase is, in my mock-up, the wheelbase is, see, 1 meter. It's roughly 152, around 150 millimeters, 1.5 meter wheelbase. Building the frame to have the least frontal area possible for something like this. Least coefficient of friction without a fairing. We're not going to enter a fairing class or streamliner class, certainly. So yeah, by my calculations, I think above 90 miles per hour is achievable. Should be. looks pretty cool. Now we're missing the engine and the radiator and stuff like that, so it's kind of naked below or on the underside. But I'll show you how I'm envisioning the riding position, if I can somewhat balance while it's standing there. I'll show you. I think I will definitely need to make some new footrests that will sit probably around here. That might interfere with the pipe. Maybe some higher footrests than my feet up here would be better for drag too, I think. There we have it. Looking kind of strange. This isn't exactly how it's going to be, but it's close. Yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll be back with updates when stuff arrives. Oh, did I mention I'm going to run linear bearings, linear rails for the engine mount. So one rail on each side and 2 carriages. That's something I've wanted to do for ever since I started working on these single variated bikes, and finally I'm doing it. So that's kind of cool. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.